But most of all,
Hey, settle down.
I'm-
Take it easy.
I'm-
What the scallop?
Just a heads up that if I see a single comment spreading that Steven Hillenburg myth about Nickelodeon spitting on his grave or some shit, then it will be deleted. Criticize Martin Spongebob all you like, but let's not lie about it to do so, okay? Okay. Most of my subscribers know that I've talked about Spongebob quite a bit on this channel. Like, twice. Specifically when it comes to Spongebob movies, which are a mixed bag. I discussed how much I mostly enjoyed the first three in my initial review of the Sandy Cheeks movie, but to be blunt, I was only going off memory there. When the OG hit its 20th anniversary, I actually went back and rewatched the first three movies with my current mindset. And to basically sum it up, the first one is a certified hood classic. Loved it as a kid and my feelings have not changed since. Could have been handled better as the intended finale, but it's still a fun time and I always feel nostalgic watching it. Second one is just okay. It's still enjoyable, but it's very unfocused plot-wise, plus not as funny and entertaining as its predecessor. And the third one... yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, it's bad. The great animation wasn't enough to save it from the messy and recycled plotline, rarely funny jokes, and the pop culture references plus licensed music were incredibly annoying and out of place. Then, when it comes to Netflix spin-offs, Saving Bikini Bottom the Sandy Cheeks movie...
This movie, I hate this movie so fucking much, I can't say it!
that clip should say everything. But Plankton the movie, while flawed, actually turned out to be fairly enjoyable. Aside from that beach flashback scene, I want whoever thought it was a good idea to put that scene in there locked up. I am not joking. Hate to sound like a sponge boomer, which is probably gonna be most of this review, but with the exception of Plankton, nothing has come close to the greatness of the first movie. I mean, SpongeBob is a money-generating powerhouse, so why does that matter? They're gonna continue making these anyway, no matter how stale they get. And just recently, SpongeBob has made his return to the big screen with Search for Squarepants. And considering I gave two of the spin-off movies their own reviews, I figured it'd be fair to give this one the same treatment. It's also appropriate since this one is all about pirates that I also sailed the seven seas because of a certain mountain-sized elephant in the room. The day has finally arrived. SpongeBob has reached the height to ride the shipwreck roller coaster at Captain Bootybeard's Fun Park. No, it doesn't look like Glove World exists in this movie. Not even Glove Universe for that matter. Again, if you seriously care about SpongeBob's continuity, I'm begging you to get some air. But unfortunately, he's not ready because he isn't brave enough to give it a chance. It isn't until he discovers a secret swashbuckler sanctum in the basement of the Krusty Krab where he encounters the Flying Dutchman and is offered a shot to prove his worth. Mr. Krabs, Squidward, and Gary set out to find SpongeBob to save him from potential danger, while our beloved yellow squishy friend goes on a quest in the underworld to show just how much of a big guy he can be. Now, just by that plot synopsis, you might be thinking what I'm thinking. Didn't we do this already? Seriously, is there some sort of broken function at Nickelodeon that's preventing them from making SpongeBob movies that doesn't repeat any previous plotlines? Don't let the pirate story fool ya. This still recycles previous movie plots, mostly the first movie in Sponge on the Run, with the latter being in and of itself a recycled plotline, including specials from seasons 4 and 5, as this movie also recycles the plot of a season 3 special. Like, guys, come on. And I wouldn't have much of a problem with this had they actually done something, I don't know, unique? I mean, it's not to say there isn't anything to talk about. I thought the underworld was pretty creatively designed, and it was fun to watch SpongeBob and Patrick try and fight off the creatures. They also give the Flying Dutchman a backstory and a motivation to use SpongeBob as a way to free him from his curse, and it really makes me glad they're finally doing something with this character again, which the last time they did was the episode where Plankton f***ing died. Though I think the one aspect that I consider the strongest here was the focus on SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs' relationship. These two have always had some sort of father-son bond in the show, and it hasn't really been recognized that often anymore. So I'm glad they made it a theme here, as it gives the movie a much needed heart. But apparently this was supposed to be a Mr. Krabs spin-off movie for Netflix until it was decided to be changed into another theatrical SpongeBob movie. The Moana touring of animated movies has begun, I'm afraid. I like all these elements within the plot, but the fact that the story is so redundant is what really brings them down. Not that it ruins them, but they deserve to be part of a story that wasn't done multiple times already. By the way this movie was marketed, I had very low expectations set. It still wasn't that good, but thankfully it turned out to be not as bad as I thought it would be. An example of my point is the jokes. Every trailer I saw was just, I wouldn't say painfully unfunny, but I don't remember a single one making me laugh. Well, I will admit the shitty bricks gag is pretty clever. And yeah, the humor here is still a mixed bag. Half of the jokes are just toilet humor, jokes already done in the show before, that just happened, and attempts at comedy so poor that I don't think even a toddler will laugh at it. But there were also jokes that I found to not be just actually funny, but also ring true to the spirit of classic SpongeBob. Considering this was directed by a veteran of the show, Derek Drymon, it doesn't surprise me that many of the jokes felt like they came out of the earlier seasons. The visuals in this movie also look fantastic. The animation was done by visual effects animation, most known for The Book of Life, The Monkey King, Freebird, the open season sequels, Scoob, and Ugly Dolls, which is a guilty pleasure of mine. They really capture the spirit of the show's animation with its vibrant colors, expressions, fluid character movements, backgrounds, and some touches like the lighting help make it stand out. I still prefer Sponge on the Run's animation a bit more, as I think the choppy Peanuts movie style is more appealing, but this is still pretty good for what it's worth. And the music choices, I'm also mixed on. They use 2 licensed songs, which are Oh Yeah by Yellow in the beginning, and for some ungodly reason the ESPN Monday Night Football theme. The rest of the season would have mattered to me had the Lions gotten to the playoffs. Sorry, I need to stay focused.
That's right, JB. Our guy Spongebob was seen running across the field, chasing his hands. Look at that big guy go. Go, Spongebob, go.
I'm not bothered at all by the use of the Monday night theme. The show does commonly use orchestrated music, but the use of Oh Yeah reminds me of why I'm not a fan of this franchise using licensed pop culture music. Thankfully, this is a one-time occurrence and not scattered across the movie like with Sponge on the Run. Yeah, in the middle of editing, I just remembered that they used another licensed song at the end. I don't remember what it is though, so if any of you can tell me in the comments, that'd be great. But the use of pop culture music kinda takes away from the timelessness of the franchise. Not that it's anything new for SpongeBob to reference pop culture, but they've always mostly been done in a subtle way so it isn't some pretentious corporate pandering like,
It's not a video chat app like Skype or FaceTime or anything.
again, search for Squarepants isn't anything like that, thank God, but you get what I mean. And this brings me to Ice Spice, as well as her song for this movie, Big Guy. I'll admit Big Guy has grown on me a bit. I do think the beat is catchy and the non-chorus verses do kinda slap, but it's still pretty mid. Especially when it's just repeating SpongeBob, Big Guy, Pants Okay, SpongeBob, Big Guy, Pants Okay, SpongeBob, Big Guy, Pants Okay for 2.5 minutes. So I guess Paramount was so proud of how the song came out that Ice Spice, and a fish Sona that's literally in the movie for less than a minute, had become the face of the marketing campaign. Not to be rude, but I don't know anybody who listens to Ice Spice. She also came under fire for wearing very revealing clothing at the premiere, where minors were in attendance. Also, just want to say that this is far from the first controversy involving Ice Spice. Apparently, it was revealed last year that she's kind of an asshole. But back on to SpongeBob. Regardless of how I feel about this movie, I hate how we've reached a point where you can just feel Paramount's greed just oozing through both in and out of the newest SpongeBob movies. Especially with here where we're dealing with another Rihanna is Smurfette situation. And I guess speaking of shoving celebrities in this movie for no rhyme or reason, they made the baffling decision to not bring back Brian Doyle Murray and instead give the voice of the Flying Dutchman to the one and only I stand with Gaza as long as they don't protect Palestinian infants from being killed, Mark Hamill. Now, this isn't Mark's first foray into SpongeBob, as he voiced the Moth in the season 5 episode Nightlight. It's not even his first time voicing a pirate. So I think in the absence of Brian Doyle Murray, I think Hamill is a pretty good fit, as he does get the Dutchman's pirate accent down flawlessly. Though I will say he sounds like the Joker a lot. But even though I do enjoy Mark Hamill's performance here, I'm still baffled as to why they couldn't just get Murray back. I heard one rumor that it was because he was too busy voicing the Dutchman in the recent SpongeBob game, Titans of the Tide, which doesn't add up because every single one of the main voice actors are in this movie as well as the game. I think a more plausible theory is that Paramount just wanted another celebrity attached because I guess Ice Spice wasn't enough for them. So they gave the role of Dutchman to Hamill. And again, he does a really good job here, but as I've said, this feels like another instance of Paramount's greed just affecting these movies now if it wasn't already. Side note, by the way, they have George Lopez voice J.K. Fishlips in the scene where he says, "This picture has gone completely off the rails. The only thing that can save it is some serious star power." Nah man, the only thing that can save it is word of mouth because look at its box office right now. Also, I kinda figured that releasing it alongside the third Avatar was not gonna spell anything good for this movie. Then again, Puss in Boots The Last Wish managed to leg out when people realized that it was very good, so we'll have to see. Then again, Puss in Boots' family competition the previous month horribly flopped. It's not the same this year. Yeah, nothing else I can really say about Search for Squarepants. It's pretty looking, creative in areas, and has its heart in the right place, but as a SpongeBob movie, this was pretty mid. Miles better than the Sandy Cheeks movie in Sponge on the Run, but when it's just doing the exact same thing as previous SpongeBob movies, then that's not saying much. I mean, Neptune, I actually think the Plankton movie is better, and it just makes me sad. I still don't think the movie is that bad, but seeing how corporate these movies are slowly becoming kinda makes me feel ill. If they really we are continuing to make Spongebob movies, to which I would be surprised if they didn't, I hope they attempt to do something new for once, but I'm not counting on it. And that's why I'm giving Search for Squarepants a 5 out of 10. It could have been worse, but in the end, Spongebob Big Guy Pants isn't okay. It's another middle-of-the-road kids flick. Though I will say I did see that new Team and t-shirt, it's really good. Ironic how a short against AI is attached to a movie that used AI for its marketing. So, I guess 2025 is over now, ain't it? I will say that this has been a pretty crazy year for me as I transferred to a bigger college, I have my own apartment, and I've officially grown an audience doing YouTube, plus making some extra cash. However, I would like to state that 2026 is where I'm gonna start making some slight alterations to my career on here. For those out of the loop, I started up a channel very recently named Miyachi Light, where I've decided that I'm gonna be moving more of my slop content that I put out to meet the 90-day upload threshold, like new movie reviews and other very short opinionated content. Yeah, I kinda made this video to promote that channel, I'm just cool like that. And I'm gonna be saving this channel for more serious content like video essays, media analyzing, and as well as rankings. I just recently did a long as hell video on Doug Walker, and while that could set a precedent on what some of my future videos will look like, I think I'd rather avoid drama content from here on out. Not only was I miserable making that video, but to be honest, I don't think I'm cut out to cover this kind of stuff at all. Let this be a one-time thing where I said something I need to say, and forever avoid the discussion of internet drama. Unless it's something unserious. I still really want to make a video on Super Origami Kingdom now that it's dead. But regardless, I do want to focus more on content that I actually feel, well, happy making. I do have plans ahead, but for right now, especially after working on that Doug Walker video, I'm extremely burnt out from making YouTube videos at this moment. You're not gonna see me for the rest of January, and I probably won't be back until like, I don't know, the end of February. I want to be better at balancing out my life and work, and I'd rather not let this YouTube thing fully consume my everyday life to where I hate doing it. But regardless, thank you all so much for the support you have given me for the past 1.5 years so far. In this time of my life where I'm still adjusting to changes, it means a lot. I'll be working on some scripts in the background during my hiatus, but I'll be focusing on taking care of myself as a priority. Thank you all again, have a safe and happy new year, and until next time, I'm Miyachi. See you later, Tama friends.